Hello, everyone, and welcome to this very, very limited edition podcast show that might only happen once ever in your entire lifetime. This is an exclusive opportunity. If you're here, you are brought here for a reason. My name is Jingles.
My name is Jimmy.
And we're going to talk about some music. Our beloved taskmasters have instructed us to talk about our favorite album within the last 8 years, and I'm sure our conversation will segue into something else along the way. But yeah.
Do we want to start the conversation of what establishes a good album?
Okay, that's good. Okay. So I'm ranking this just off of like personal joy. I mean, obviously, I don't want to be the corny guy that talks about how deep music is, but it resonates with everyone. It resonates with everyone differently. There are some well-produced albums. There's some shit-produced albums. There's albums that make you feel good. There's albums that don't make you feel good. I think. So yeah, I'm ranking. They make me feel good, and I think they're produced super well. For me personally.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of conversation about like the standard benchmark, but I think for me, I think the biggest part of a good album is intent and nuance. I think we often overlook albums for just being filled with cheesy love songs or being too referential. But to me, I really like to believe that like a good album is something packaged where it might be just a good compilation and good composition of what the artist wanted to produce. And if I feel joy in it, and I think most albums are able to kind of hit on both parameters and at least do that for some people. So again, like this conversation can go many places, but we'll see what the night brings.
Yes. I don't know. Another thing I was thinking about kind of as you were talking there, Jimmy, is I feel like another part, I mean, I have my selection of my favorite album in the last 8 years, so we're in 2026 now. So dating back to 2018, is the ability to not just be like a mix, but to just be like a complete album, like a cohesive project that, you know, obviously doesn't have to go blend the one song doesn't have to blend into the next, but it feels like a cohesive unit where it's like, it feels like you're back in 1970 and you're a kid coming home from a record label or a record store and you spot a new LP and you're listening to the whole thing from front to back cover, for me personally. So yeah.
I mean, I guess, do we want to start the conversation with our first picks?
Yeah, let's do it. Are you a Spotify user or a Apple Music user or etc.?
I'm a Spotify user just because I like the aesthetic.
Yes.
There may be conversations about quality, ethics, and so on.
It's all so cooked at this point. They're all. It's like Big Farm. I mean, you can't really fix it at this point. Maybe can, but it ain't gonna be me.
Artists are mistreated across the board, and honestly, I'm not the issue.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stand on that opinion.
Don't shoot the consumer.
I don't know, any reason why you indulge in Spotify as your...
I was always a Pandora kid growing up, so I don't know, it was like it was high school. It was first year of high school I made the switch, and I don't know, Pandora was very like radio based and like couldn't really do that, or like I heard like on Spotify if you get premium you can just like listen to whatever song you want whenever, and I'm like, holy shit. So that was kind of like the first door that was opened up to me, and yeah.
Okay, but I guess we can start with, we can say our top albums, and then we'll just do initial reactions, and then I think we can kind of build upon why we made that selection. So do you want to go first, or do you want me?
Or what, sure. I'm fine with whatever.
Okay.
We have not discussed these albums with each other at all. We have no idea what the other person is going to say. I don't know if Jimmy even knows what my album is or if I know what his is. So we're just shooting the shit.
So I think many viewers may find my answer not like a little bit predictable, but I find the best album that I'm going to select tonight is going to be, did you know that there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard by Lana Del Rey?
Okay. Solid pick. I've never been a. You run it down for me because I like Lana Del Rey songs. I've got to select, like, if you click on her, I've probably got, I don't know. Let's see how many like songs I have on my Spotify by Lana Del Rey. But, like, I'm a very sporadic Lana Del Rey listener. So speak to me.
I'm gonna be honest. I have the lyrics of "Cinnamon Girl" on my right thigh. She speaks to me in a way that I really appreciate. I think for me, I guess something that I really like is that she likes to play in the gray space, whether it is music, whether it is her life, or whether it is kind of just like how she interacts with kind of the different aspects of her life. For me specifically on this album, I find this to be kind of the centerpiece of her work in general, just because I think she has an incredible ability to jump through so many different topics, genres, and still making something very cohesive in the end. Just to kind of rattle off a couple things that just come to mind, she talks about sexual assault. She talks about how her relationship to her family. She talks about how the passage of her family members have affected her and the people around her. She talks about a one-night stand and what that looks like for her and how she can still make it sound so romantic while still continuing to then back into the next track and have a party hit. So I think just when it comes to this album specifically, I really find that she took bits and pieces of all of the eras, even like albums that weren't released under her current moniker, and turned it into something that truly it kind of expresses her free will when it came to music producing.
Dope. So some of the big hits on this, the biggest one is definitely Let the Light In my opinion, at least. I mean, I do love that song. I'm not, like I said, I'm a sporadic listener, and I'd be lying if I said I have listened to this album all the way through. But there's ones like A&W, you've got some John Baptiste in there. Margaret, that's a big one too. So yeah, very popular album, but I feel like when people like what's your favorite Lana Del Rey album, I feel like the go-to answer is usually Norman fucking Rockwell.
I agree.
At least, like, that's the one that people have posters of in their bedroom if they have a Lana Del Rey poster.
It's actually really interesting that you brought that up. That's like, I think, a key like talking point whenever I pull this out as like my answer, because like I think the couple gut reactions are, oh, you're picking that to be performative. Oh, you're picking that because
talking about the tunnel okay
over Norman.
Okay.
It's like, oh, you're picking that because it's the more recent work. But for me, it may be just come down to like life experience. It may come down to I like this album and how it sounds better.
Yeah.
But for me, just when it comes to like at the end of the day, I find the journey from the beginning to end of Ocean Boulevard just really interesting, and it has a level of depth that I don't know, it just speaks to me personally. So again, it really comes down to just kind of opinion, and personally, I think Norman fucking Rockwell has the edge solely because of just it got released first.
Mm-hmm. Facts. I was wondering. I was way off. I was guessing that West Coast, which is one of my favorite songs of all time, personally. I thought it was in that album. I was completely wrong. It was 10 years earlier in Ultraviolence, which I've listened to that all the way through, but there are some of her biggest songs in there. What's the one? God, I grew up. It's like Lemonade or something, or it's like not video games. I don't. Oh, some might be just sometimes.
Was it a drink or
I have
a
no
lyric?
idea. I don't know. There's some. I swear it's like Lemonade base. This is such a freaking Hail Mary, but I just remember like a lemon. There's some lyric about lemonade or something. Lemon, maybe I'm just lying and making this up, that my mom would play in the car on the way to school. And then she'd talk about how she's iffy on Lana Del Rey, which I was too young to form an opinion at the time. So I don't know. Right. I'm probably just tripping. Maybe this is a dream.
Okay, or maybe I'm a fake fan and I cannot recall.
Dope. Okay.
For transparency, my high school senior thesis was about Lana Del Rey.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I have a 1 hour presentation on deck at all times.
Hell yeah.
And I also have like during Chemtrail, she released a very controversial 1-page paper talking about her views of the music industry, talking about the sexualization of women, and just generally how she interacts with the music industry and fame. And I wrote my senior another part of my senior thesis all about how misogyny basically played a huge role in kind of suppressing her thoughts. And in retrospect, a lot of experts, when it came to just like psychologists, when it came to just like people who were kind of researching like the female emotion, they really resonated with the statement, and Lana doesn't really help in this avenue, but people really wanted people to kind of marinate with the message a little bit longer than they did. I think a lot of people made gut reactions to kind of what Lana should be saying and what's appropriate to say in public. But again, it kind of comes back to like nuance, and I think that's like what she performs really well, which kind of comes back to the album, Ocean Boulevard in itself.
Interesting. I'll definitely have to give it a full listen through. Maybe I'll tell my Taskmaster to make me listen to that. We're going to do a quick Allen break, and then we'll get back to our topic, and we'll dive into what my album is. We're back, and we're ready to talk music. So we went into the deep caverns of Jimmy's mind and talked about the sophistication of Lana Del Rey and her ability to speak up in the music scene and to truly have her own identity and not be a bullshit industry baby or industry plant. So I'm going to go into my album now, if that's all right with you. We're going to pick my favorite album from the last 8 years. I'm going to select The New Abnormal by The Strokes. Are you familiar with the album?
I'm familiar with the album. I can't promise to you that I haven't listened to the album the most recently. But like, this is an album that like, I find it like it's a pretty popular album in itself, but I feel like people don't recognize this album as like a composition. I feel maybe this is deeper than just like the album itself, and this is like a commentary and another conversation about like TikTok and just like the industrialization of music and like how this looks in context of like the world. But I think it's really nice that in its components with each song, they're really solid. But I think as a composition, I think it harbors a lot of memory for me. Like, this is like an album that like for me kind of like establishes what like a keystone memory for like a teenager would be.
Yeah. This piece I talked a lot about earlier, what makes an album for me: vibes, production, just being able to tell a story in a cohesive composition or through a cohesive composition. I'm going with this. It was released in 2020, The Strokes, obviously big in the late 90s, early 2000s mostly. This is an album, like, they've already made their name for themselves. It's the fucking Strokes. But this, like, album, I feel like it opened the gates for a new generation to listen to their music and to listen to, like, a true, like this is, like, peak COVID, peak, like, people only really listen to TikTok songs. Like, we've got DaBaby and, like, his 2 albums, and we've got, all kids are doing is just scrolling, playing Xbox, watching Charlie D'Amelio and Addison Rae. But, like, this, like, I don't know. I started listening to this album in a summer school class during COVID, and it just, like, I just thought every song was so awesome. I was immediately hooked. Perfect opening song. The Adults Are Talking. Definitely the most famous song on the album, or at least it is the most streamed song. And it is one of the most streamed songs besides Last Night, as it seems. Yeah, in their entire discography via Spotify. It's so freaking catchy. It blends perfectly into Selfless, which blends perfectly into Brooklyn Bridge to Chorus. And then you end with Ode to Mets. You've got a lot of you've got two great buns on this burger. You've got Adults Are Talking. You got Ode to the Mets. It's two of the catchiest songs I've ever heard in my entire life. Just it's a real earworm, but it's not like so earwormy that it's like, you know, corny, and it perfectly blends the line of, for me, of sophistication, and catchiness, and being able, you don't have to be a musician, you don't have to be a musician, you don't have to be like a orchestra conductor, a composition major to be like, this is a beautiful album. Like, it's easy to the ear of someone who's never heard music before. It's one of those albums where I feel like if you hear The Adults Are Talking for the first time and you're a baby and you're new to the world and you've never heard music for the first time, like, this is a song that will still make you feel something, for me. And then, yeah, Eternal Summer, Out the Door, Why Are Sundays So Depressing? So great, so amazing. I don't know. It just strikes a chord with me. And it's not a band that it's not a band for me. Like, or if you ask me something about the Beatles or the Doors or like the Eagles, like I don't want to say encyclopedia, but like I know a lot of weird random shit about it. And about like productions of certain songs. Where the Strokes, it's more like a mystery to me. Like, I don't really know a lot about the like creation of this album. But yeah, just like when I think of like 2018, like the line being 2018 and like end of middle school up until now, like this is an album that has consistently been in my rotation since. So yeah, sorry Jimmy, I just yapped for like 5 minutes about my album, took up so much of my time, but
No, you're good.
I love this album. It's awesome.
I mean, I think you bring up a really interesting topic about the opening song and like the last song that you listen to on an album. Do you want to like speak more on that generally, or maybe even in context of this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of let me see if I can look through any like great albums of. I mean, even as I'm scrolling, there's like, okay, this is also one of the best.
Because I can start. I can start with Ocean Boulevard while you kind of look around. For me, I thought that. I think the opening and end track can really make or break an album. Mm-hmm. I think it's really interesting that that you brought it up, and I think I can also resonate with that for Ocean Boulevard. The opening track for Ocean Boulevard is The Grants. The Grants is a song all about how death has impacted Lana's family. To kind of sum it up, it basically talked about how her uncle had passed away, and then talked about how each and every single one of her family members were kind of fragmented across the world at the time. Lana with her music, her brother with God knows whatever, and then her sister kind of still back home with the family. And she kind of talks about like how all these different family members come back together to kind of support and like think about and ponder this moment in their life that's pretty significant. This uncle was someone who they all loved and adored. They all always loved talking to him at family dinners. And I think it contrasts really well with how the album ends. The album ends with basically a mashup song, which is very interesting for me. The album technically ends on a Norman Rockwell based track. It's not an exact sample, but Venice Bitch is something that was super controversial when Lana had initially released it. It's a song that's 9 minutes and a couple seconds over.
Woof.
Really long, super...
I love me a long song, though. If it's good, there's some Doors songs that are like 17-minute songs, so I won't discriminate against a long song.
It's a long song. Controversially, some people kind of credit her for opening the doors for... All Too Well, the 10-minute version, just because of their interactions within the music industry. I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Were they friends?
Lana
and Taylor?
They collabed on a track. Currently, as of now, Lana is not following Taylor after the Grammys due to what fans kind of assume is Lana being invited on stage, her kind of standing on the side. Taylor acknowledges her for 2 seconds, and Lana's like, I never wanted to be on stage in the first place. This was completely your album. Like, I was just here as like a consultant on one song.
Interesting. I never knew about that. Celeb beef. Never gets old. Anyways,
I was gonna say, I see you have a new album.
I do. This is one that I was scrolling through, and this is one of my favorites too. I had to bring it up, and I was thinking about our sandwich thing, but there's also a lot of good middle juice, jam, and jelly in the middle. Happier Than Ever by Billie Eilish. I love this album so much. I'm a huge Billie Eilish fan. I think her and Phineas, which I don't know, I haven't looked too much into it. I'm not super caught up on like the Billie Eilish, really any like artists like modern lore, but my little sister Whitney is, and she said like her and Phineas are done writing music together, allegedly for now.
He's taking a break.
Yeah, which that's okay. I mean, they're siblings. I mean, it's not like they're gonna fucking fall out forever, but they're just doing their own thing. But this is such a great album. Probably, I don't know. What's the new one called? Like Light as a... What's it called? Or like Hit Me When You Fall.
It's Hit Me Hard and Soft.
Hit Me Hard, yeah. That one's great. I probably maybe like that one better, but I've had more time to like enjoy and understand this album. Start off with Getting Older, a great intro song. It's exactly what it's like. It's about exactly what the title is, just getting older, just kind of wising up, and then it just does this total 180. And I Didn't Change My Number, which is kind of like the bad guy kind of Billy, kind of hip hoppy. Got some like electric drum machine in there. But my highlights of this album, 2021. So we're definitely within the 8-year range. We're in the 5-year range. Some keepers for sure that everyone I think should listen to. Have you listened to this album before?
I'm gonna be honest. I used to hate this album.
No,
a lot. No. Hear me out.
No.
When I was first introduced to this album, I personally, I think her. I think the worst songs, in context of what this album is, are the title tracks or the tracks that she decided to promote.
Happier Than Ever?
Happier Than Ever is the only exception. Lost Cause, Oxytocin, I couldn't resonate.
I love
with
Oxytocin.
those. Oxytocin's easily my least favorite song on this album.
Dude.
Do you know what my highlight on this album is?
What?
Halley's Comet.
Halley's Comet is freaking awesome. I love Halley's Comet. I also am a huge male fantasy sucker. So like the miking of the acoustic guitar is so perfect. I love a good like rattly, bass heavy, and then like you can hear every click on every fretboard, like every minute detail of an acoustic guitar. Like the miking of that is perfect. And then of course like the messaging of porn, just fucking up people's brains is also good. Well, bad, but good, good messaging. And then Happier Than Ever, it just fucking rocks. I love how like open they are into the production process, I guess, with like their writing. 2-time NPR Tiny Desk featured artist Billy and Phineas, and then also they did a piece on David Letterman about making this album and making Happier Than Ever, and it just rocks. And I don't know, Billie Eilish is an artist like similar to Lana, who I think just does a great job of being ahead of the curve, of just like falling into traps of Hollywood, and just she shit posts on Instagram when she wants to talk about current political issues going on in the world. She's going to talk about them, and not in a mainstream pay me to play a gig at your campaign type of way. So yeah, artist wise, I think she's awesome. Never met her. Hopefully she's cool in person, and I think it's a great album. And yeah, sorry I had to yap about that one too. It's just so good.
Well, I think it's interesting. I don't know how you feel about this, but a lot of people view this as her weakest album.
Really?
I view this as her strongest album personally. I love the new album, but personally, I think it's
pretty awesome. I don't think there's a single skip in there, personally.
I really loved Happier Than Ever, even with the songs I really hated. Because for example,
Oxytocin stands. Oxytocin stands.
Even like NDA, like anything with the music video, I really did not like. Maybe it was just the way that my friends had presented the songs or something. But I found that she was the loudest when she's when she was the quietest on this album.
Yes, I agree with that.
Getting Older, I think for me really hit, especially since like I think for us we were starting to kind of transition out of high school at this time. Wait,
unfortunately,
yeah.
I mean, what we were
23 is when we graduated.
Yeah, so we're getting older. We were getting older, juniors, sophomores, sad times. Fuck. This is a good one too. Let's just make this the Billie Eilish episode.
I mean, we're talking about what builds a good album, and I think Billie.
She went 3 for 3, in my opinion, as far as making some pivotal albums from 2018 and 2026.
I'll agree with that.
She got the awards to back it up. Awards aren't everything, but she earned those ones.
I think Wildflower winning a year after it got released, I think also kind of shows like pinnacle writing, because I think it's easy to talk about Billie just because the writing is very I don't want to say transparent or like I think
transparent's a good way to describe it personally.
Because I almost don't even want to say that it's like they explain every part. I think like even if they didn't, the way that she writes is very telling of like she knows how to build a narrative, whether it is for her first debut for her first album, kind of creating this narrative around her about like the world is an ugly place and kind of like interacting with these different spaces, especially with like climate change and then just like art and kind of what that looks like. Or she can also kind of take a different, like with Happier Than Ever, she goes kind of straight from the heart first and kind of builds out the world around her after.
Yeah, and her storytelling is very anecdotal. Like I don't know, like some of the storytelling, like, God, what album's the 30th in? Is it even, it's in a EP, I think, with, what's the other one? The TikTok song where it's like, I think I'll just kill my TV. Yeah. No, the 30th, like, TV, it makes you feel like you're rotting in bed all day, like, go along on the ride with her. The 30th, like, telling a story of, like, a significant other, friend, boyfriend, person, just, like, post-drunk driving accident or getting pulled over or DUI, it's kind of unclear, at least to my ears. Just, like, being able to tell a story of, like, and just being, like, super straightforward about just, like, what happened, how she felt, talking about shit like porn, like, she would never be that pleasured. I don't know. Like, shit like that, like, no one's writing a song. I can't name one other song about, like, how porn's rotting men's mind. So, I don't know. She's unique in her storytelling, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I feel like we've opened up many different avenues we can explore.
Sure.
Do you have an idea of where you want to go next, or?
Your call, man. I kind of took us to the Billie lane.
I was gonna say, like, I think like the 30th was a really interesting release for me when it came to like what defined a good music, just because I think people kind of overlook kind of like any song that's not on like the main discography part of like an artist. For example, some of my highlights in music are honestly on the seasonal albums. For example, Fruitcake by Sabrina Carpenter, genuinely like one of my favorite albums, just because I like original takes on like themed music. I hate a cover. Ariana Grande's cover of Christmas music is like a pass, but like for me, what song is it? I'll move to like another example while I look for it. But for example, like Phoebe Bridgers brings up like a really delicate interpretation of Silent Night, where
I've never heard it.
There's a TV playing in the background that talks about war, crime, talks about the world, and again, she's just singing over in basically a lullaby tone.
Check it out.
Talking about like how the world is shaping, but like again, like for Fruitcake, maybe I'm just a lover at heart, and maybe I just like haven't maybe it's just like that experience. But Cindy Lou Who as like an original song, genuinely like I don't know, like. The fact that that's on a Christmas album and not on, like, emails I can't send, like, blows my mind sometimes.
Yeah.
She talks a lot about how she can't find the warmth within even the fireplace anymore because of like how she's feeling with love and the people around her. And she talks about how like in the end she says like I'll never be the one to love you, but I'm sure she can. And like she sits with it. She doesn't go back. There's no revenge, no nothing, no other considerations. It's just I have to say, like, I have to pull up the white flag and say goodbye.
Damn. Real shit. I mean, that is kind of just the way, like, I don't want to say norm, but kind of, I mean, like I said earlier, 70s, 80s, you buy the LP, you buy the CD, you buy the cassette for however long cassettes were around, not long. Like, you buy the project, and, like, that was, like, the next thing. Can't we see the Beatles next to this? Can't we see, you know, the Beastie Boys next to that? But now, like, we're just kind of, like, in a, just, like, a shitpost kind of, like consumer, or just, like, we consume just kind of like a shitpost thing, whether that be social media, and, like, at least, like, dispersing music. Like, it's so easy to, like, if Billie Eilish wanted to, she could record a single tonight, get someone to mix it, master it in the next couple days, and then it's on all platforms in, like, a couple weeks. Where, like, back in the day, you had to record all songs, get studio time, and then, you know, get wax and put it on your vinyl or whatever. Like, it just is so easy to just, like, shitpost, and then also, like, when you, like, want to get clicks, you're doing it by the single. Like, you're getting, like, you're using your single to sell your album, but you're kind of banking on your whatever one or two singles you have, like, those are going to be your big songs. Like, that's your birds of the feather of the album, you know? So, yeah. How much time are we at? I think we're getting close to 30. Yeah, we're right about there. Well...
So do we want to wrap up?
Yeah, closing thoughts.
I don't know. I guess, like, the last thing
we covered a lot of ground here.
I was gonna say, I guess, like, just to kind of crystallize the conversation.
Yeah.
I think we established kind of what we find in an album, and then albums that are close to heart, and then a couple threads that I think are more than what we discussed here today, like here tonight. But I guess, like, the final question poses new music. What's that landscape gonna look like? I'm gonna be honest, like,
I know a lot of people are ready for that Olivia album, the Olivia Rodrigo album.
I was gonna say that was the next thing I was gonna talk about.
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna be honest, she lucked out. Like, controversy that drives her career but doesn't, like, damage her too much. Daniel as her producer is amazing. They fit as a pair. She has a single coming out. The distribution's right. I think, again, when it came to her album, when it came to her release schedule, she did not try to rewrite the script. She gave, like, the sad song first, and then she gave Brutal. She gave Vampire first, and then Bad Idea. That's what I expect of what her next album is going to be about. And I get, like, even on her, like, deluxe tracks, the deluxe tracks are good. A lot of people drag her for, like, Scared of My Guitar. Scared of My Guitar is, like, one of my favorite songs that she's, like, written.
Dope. Yeah, because, I mean, I'm looking at her discography right now. She had the deluxe of Guts, which came out in 23, and then she did some movie stuff for Hunger Games. Was she nominated for, like, an Oscar or something? Because she did a lot of the scoring, right? Or all of it?
I think just for song. I don't think she produces like that.
I don't know.
To my knowledge.
Inspired by. She's one of the main names, like, on the top 3. I don't know. She's one of those people where, like, she boomed out. I know we're trying to wrap it up, but she came out, she had Sour, and my sisters were obsessed with her, and I was, like, a moody high schooler. I'm like, I don't like the music that you like, but there are bangers from that very sporto, straight girl music hating high school Jackson he had to swallow those pills that there are some very good songs in those albums, and Olivia Rodrigo is talented, and she's not. I was like, she's a writer on music. I was that fucking asshole that was like Taylor Swift shit. Anyways, sorry. But yeah, I'm excited to hear a new album. I think that's definitely going to be one of the biggest of the year. And that's coming out in like a month or two, or
yes, her single is next Friday. But I guess that, like, again, to kind of bring us back to the rapping, maybe Olivia is going to be the next person who establishes kind of the new standard for what good music is.
Yeah, she's got a lot of power in her hands right now.
I guess we can also ask, like, is it going to be the artist who establishes the standard, or is it the listeners who establishes that standard? I think it may look different on both sides. But all in all, I think we opened up a good conversation about what we deem as a good album. But I think we realized in this conversation, different things resonate with us.
For sure.
And at the end of the day, if the bings and boops of the songs make you happy, then so be it. It's your favorite album.
Yes. One person's bell isn't going to be another person's bell or whistle. So, hey, we had some great conversations today. I feel like we did a good job, and our masks didn't get too bunched up or didn't get our eyes too bunched up. So, thank you guys for joining Jimmy and Jingles Talk. That's what we're going to call it for now, since we couldn't really think of a name unless you got anything.
No, we're going to have to put a pin in it.
Jimmy and Jingles Talk, unless I think of something great while posting. Thank you guys for tuning in. Life leads you everywhere for a reason, and if you guys never see this podcast again, or you never see another episode from us, it's
we're Taskmasters. Give us another topic, whatever.
Give us more albums to talk about. We can make 30 minutes fly by pretty quickly. So.
I was gonna say, me and Jingles, we're trying to justify. We considered bringing up the Rise of Guru soundtrack.
Yes, we can do that next week.
We're looking at you, Peyton.
Yes.
We're gonna call you out.
Yes.
We know you're a Taskmaster out there.
I've got my Minions fit on.
Convince them.
I got my
We would love to talk about that album. So. The choice is in your hands, America.
Ball's in your court, Taskmasters. See ya.